This is the Canadian Country Showcase. Here's Courtney Fielder.
Joining us here this weekend, we have an artist that is new to the show for you. His name is Tony Stevens. How's it going today, Tony?
It's going great, Courtney. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, since this is the first time you're here with us on the show.
Well, I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I like hunting. I like fishing. I love country music. I'm just I'm excited to be here on the radio speaking with you. I mean, the radio was such a huge part of my life growing up, listening to it and, recording on tape decks, my favorite songs whenever they would come on. I'm a country singer-songwriter, and it's something that I absolutely love being a part of and love doing. So I feel honored and privileged to be able to do this.
So before we chat about your song that you have out right now, what made you decide to get into the Canadian country music scene?
Okay, so I had a brief hospital stay about 10 years ago where I had a pretty bad head injury, and I was on bed rest for about 3 months after that. And it gave me a lot of time to kind of rethink my priorities. And at that point, I had been out of music for quite a while, and it just reaffirmed, that I felt like it's something that I should be doing. And from then on, I just took it a lot more serious and put more, focus on actually doing songwriting and making songs. And it's kind of just gone one foot in front of the other from there. So.
And it's led us to, of course, your latest single called Tomorrow Today. What can you tell us about this one?
Well, Tomorrow Today, it's not that far off of the story of me and my wife, Courtney. Back in the day when I was single, I didn't care much about anything other than working on my car and going fishing and hunting and stuff like that. And that's the first line of the song. You don't think much past the next fishing trip with the guys until I met Courtney, and all I started to think about was her, and when I was going to see her next. And the progression of the song is like that. You think about, oh, maybe we can move in together, and then it goes to the third final chorus. It's like, oh, I think I want to marry this girl. So that's the story of the song, and it's pretty much the story of myself and my wife. So
that's awesome. I have to say, I love the name Courtney. There's not very many Courtneys out there. So
it's a good name.
So with, of course, that song having like that message behind it with Tomorrow Today, what would be like the best relationship advice you could give to somebody that's listening right now?
Well, being that we've been through our ups and downs in the dating session, and then we've been married for quite a while, and we got some kids now. I would say stick to it. There's always going to be ups and downs. And, as long as you guys have the same foundation and the same goals ahead of you, I think that's what really makes it work. And that's what we've done.
That's some great advice there. Now, taking a step back to your latest single here with Tomorrow Today, there's some pretty impressive writers on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Patricia Conroy, Dwave, and Dan Swinimer, my producer. Actually, we all got in the room. I think Dwave and Patricia were actually in Nashville on Zoom, and Dan and I were in his studio. So it was a really fun write. Patricia came with the title, and we kind of just amalgamated it from there, and it came together really well. And as soon as Dan and I put the demo together, we knew that this was going to be something that we would want to release. So
that's awesome. So have you heard it like on the radio yourself listening yet?
I have, and it's so surreal. I mean, like I said, this is only my second radio interview. So happy to be here. And it's definitely a weird feeling when you didn't press play, and it just kind of comes on out of thin air. So it's awesome.
That is
Love
awesome. It. And of course, you are actually under Bobby Will's record label. So how does it feel to be under like someone like Bobby Will's?
Well, first of all, again, like all the way crazy, just crazy enough was kind of like an anthem in when that was coming out. I remember going to the lakes and yeah, just having that song pumping. So as soon as I, found out that Bobby Wills was interested and wanted to talk, I was like, absolutely. I've definitely listened to his songs over the years, and really, the more I get to know him, the more I hear about him, the less, or I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him. And it's the proof's in the pudding. He's a great guy, and getting to know him has been great. So.
Oh, definitely. Well, and it's so cool to be able to like meet these people that like you said, you listen to his music and everything. So like it's a pretty cool moment to when you have like that first actual and like in-person meeting, and to be under his record label, even cooler.
Yeah, it was great. I think immediately him and I kind of clicked, and in the beginning, this was all actually on like looking each other in the eye and shaking hands. So that's the kind of stuff I like, and obviously that's the kind of stuff he's into as well. And here we are. So it's been good.
Is there like a crazy story on like how you got on to Willing Records?
It's not that crazy. Well, it is crazy in the way that I flew into Calgary for the first time, like traveling out of my own like city area for music, and it was to meet Bobby Wills and to discuss a future with Willing Records. So that was kind of crazy. That my first time out of the city area here for music was to discuss a record label. And he had my wife and I over in his house and had us for dinner, and we broke bread and kind of, it was very natural. It was good.
Oh, that's awesome. So what's next for you now? Of course, you're out with your new single here with Tomorrow Today. So what's next on the plate for you?
Well, we've got a lot of songs in the docket, so to speak. I believe the plan is that we're going to be possibly releasing another tune to DSPs in a couple months, and then we'll see how things go. Hopefully a lot more music and a lot of live shows, and just continue for as long as I possibly can. That's my plan.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's some great plans, especially because I think people, as soon as they hear this song on the show, they're going to absolutely fall in love with you and want to follow along with all your musical journeys.
Well, I really appreciate that, Courtney.
So, of course, we're getting ready for like summer and everything. It's getting warmer out here, out west in the prairies. So talking summertime with you, what is like your all-time favorite summertime activities? I know you mentioned you like doing fishing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like going, just a couple weeks ago, went up to a hike in one of the local mountains here, and there's a lot of mountaintop lakes where we're from. So you take a couple hour hike, and my son and I brought our fishing rods up there, and I really love doing that. I've got a problem with having too many hobbies and liking to do too many things. And, I like to dirt bike. Again, there's not enough time to do all these things, but I get a little bit of each every now and then, and it fills me up. So.
Sounds like it'll definitely keep you busy. So like when it comes to fishing, I know everybody always loves to talk about this. Like what is your go-to like fishing bait that you like to use, or do you like change it up every once in a while?
Well, it depends. It depends if I'm fishing in the river for sturgeon or if I'm fishing in a lake for trout. We just use, some spinner baits up in the lakes. Sometimes a bobber and a worm is just all you need. And if you're fishing for sturgeon, the best bait that we've used is, salmon roe or some salmon. So, because they're the cleanup crew. So you put a little bit of garbage on the bottom of the river and they come and get it. So
there you go. That's awesome. So then for you, what is like your best catch that you've had like to this date?
Well, I've caught about a 7-foot sturgeon down in the river, and this is in an area where, it's not really known for big sturgeon because it's so close to the tidal section of the river. And then I'd say, catching spring salmon or Chinook or out in the ocean is pretty incredible. Like they can get massive and they fight like hell. So
I can imagine.
They eat good. They barbecue really, really good.
There you go. Just learning like all this stuff with you when it comes to all the fishing here. So I know our listeners are going to love it because like I mentioned, out here in the prairies, everybody loves going out and fishing this time of year.
Yeah. I've never even been past Alberta, but I was in Toronto recently, and you know, the Muskokas and all the lakes in central Canada. Just like when I was there, it was all like calling my name, and I was wandering around this lake looking at all the pike. Like you could see them from the shore. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, like,
Where's
this
my
is
fishing
paradise.
rod? No.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I
that's
definitely plan
awesome.
on hitting some of those lakes up at some point.
There you go. Well, taking a step back to music here again, your latest single, like we were talking about, is called Tomorrow Today. So if there was like one thing you could say to those that are now new fans of you here on the show, what would you say to them about this song to like leave like that lasting impression?
Oh man, I think what this song stands for is, you know, that feeling that you get, you know, that you should follow your gut, you know, that don't be afraid to make the move, don't be afraid to, you know, take the chance, because you never know what it could turn into. And that's definitely is the case for relationships, but that can go through, you know, everything in life. You know, you don't get to anywhere without taking that first step. So
That's awesome.
I
That's
hope that's what resonates
I think it will.
through my music and through the song. And yeah,
That's
if you like somebody, take a shot at it.
There you go. And is there anything you want to say to your fans that are now big fans of you here from listening to the show with Tomorrow Today?
Man, thank you so much for listening. I really, really hope that the song resonates, and if it does, that you get a lot of enjoyment from it. You know, music has been a huge part of my life, and for me to have any kind of little sliver of that in somebody else's life is an absolute honor, and it brings me so much joy. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. And where can people follow along with you in your latest single and all the new music to come?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Tony Stevens Music, and obviously I'm on your radio station. And then yeah, so I've got all the major streaming platforms on my Instagram link. So whatever you need to listen through, you can go there and check it out. I've also got a website on the link there as well, TonyStevensMusic.com. So
Awesome. Well, we cannot wait to hear even more new music from you. In the meantime, loving Tomorrow Today. Thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us here on the Canadian Country Showcase.
thank you, Courtney.
From BC to PEI, coast to coast, this is the Canadian Country Showcase.